This is going to be one of Rugged Ridge's most basic factory-like seats that they offer. Now, this seat isn't going to have a ton of additional bolstering. It doesn't have an adjustable or a really high back. There's no cutout for a 5-point harness. So again, fairly simple seat, fairly basic, but also going to be an upgrade over an old, beat out, worn out seat that you might currently have in your YJ or early TJ. This is going to be a reclining seat, which in my opinion is a really nice feature, unless you're somebody who's doing some really hardcore off-roading, has a full set of 5-point harnesses and doesn't want the recliner as a weak point in case of a rollover. I think the recliner is going to be a really nice feature. It just makes it a lot more comfortable for you to sit in the seat. Now, something else to look at when you're considering an aftermarket seat is whether you need an adapter or not. Again, if you're putting this in your YJ, this is going to bolt up right to your factory seat adapter. In your TJ, you are going to have to purchase an additional adapter, so keep that in mind when factoring in the cost of the seat and what your budget is. Now, these seats, because they are one of the more simple models from Rugged Ridge, they don't have quite as many features as some of the others, they are going to be a little bit less expensive as well. As for construction, this is going to be a black powder-coated steel frame seat with metal springs. It's going to, of course, be covered in padding and then finally covered in this automotive grade vinyl material, which is designed to be cleaned very easily. Of course, getting in and out of your Jeep, especially on the trail, there's a good chance you might be a little bit dirty, and this seat is going to clean up pretty easily for you. Of course, this does have that full reclinability. In fact, these ship in a rectangular box, which is a little bit surprising when you first see it, but this seat will completely recline almost completely flat, which does give you a ton of adjustability so you can really get yourself comfortable in this seat. Now, this seat is going to have a little bit of bolstering, but nothing like some of the other versions of the Rugged Ridge seats or some of the other seats out there on the market. Now, if you are looking for a seat that's really going to hold you tight when you're going around corners or when you're in those off-camber situations off-road, then maybe you want to look at one of the other models of a Rugged Ridge or a different brand seat that does have some additional bolstering. Again, this is going to be more akin to a factory replacement style seat and doesn't have quite as many features as some of the more expensive seats out there. I am giving the installation of these seats a very simple 1 out of 3 wrenches, and you will be able to get this done in about an hour per seat with just some hand tools. Now, if you're installing this in your YJ, it's a very simple matter of unbolting your factory seats, unbolting your factory frame from that factory seat, bolt your new seat onto your factory frame, and bolt everything back into the Jeep. If you're installing this in your TJ, of course, you'll still have to remove your factory seats and frames, and then you'll have to use an adapter to install this seat into your new Jeep, and that is something you're going to have to purchase separately. Regardless of what year your Jeep is, this is going to bolt in without any major modifications or any drilling to do, so again, very easy install that anyone can do in their driveway. These seats come in at right around $235 each, and if you do have to purchase an adapter for your TJ, you are going to have a little bit more into these. However, if you consider what a premium seat costs, you're still going to be well under that. And that price difference is mostly because of features, not necessarily because of quality. I do think that this is still going to be a really well-built seat, especially for the price. So that's my review of the Rugged Ridge reclining front seat fitting your 1987 to 2002 Wrangler that you can find right here at ExtremeTerrain.com.